Ben Smith warns Springboks in an analysis written on Rugby Pass. Now that the pleasantries are over, it's time for the Springboks to face the music. Rassie Erasmus has been on his best behavior this week, cozying up to the media and showering the All Blacks with praise, all in an attempt to avoid provoking a response. It's a tactic he believes is necessary because, in his mind, it matters. Please like, subscribe, share and comment to support us.
Erasmus, the master of mind games, always looking for that psychological edge, has managed to keep press conferences tame and devoid of any real headlines. But now that the public grandstanding is over, it's time to get down to business.
Springbok fans, if not the team themselves, are riding high after 2 victories over the Wallabies. Expectations are through the roof. They believe this team is on the cusp of greatness, ready to take its place among the legendary sides in rugby history. The narrative is set, and they're eager to see it unfold. They're also convinced that Super Rugby's struggles are proof of its inferiority and that European competition has elevated the Springboks to new heights. Some ex-players even struggle to think of teams throughout history that could beat the 2024 Springboks, claiming they've transcended current international competition. But before we get carried away with this narrative, let's not forget that Ireland beat them just last month. Yes, the Springboks have won 3 matches since then, but let's hold off on the praise until they truly earn it. Erasmus and his coaching staff have been able to experiment with their selections against the Wallabies, fielding both A and B teams. But they better hope this one doesn't end up as the L team. Their lineup includes the world's best blindside flanker playing in the second row. A risky move that could backfire, much like Argentina's experiment with Marcos Kramer at lock, which led to their downfall at Eden Park. Eben Etzebeth sits on the bench, ready to step in if things go wrong, but relying on an emergency option doesn't always work. Hooker Joseph Dweba was pulled just 27 minutes into the last test at Ellis Park, and even Malcolm Marx couldn't fix the mess. The All Blacks jumped to a 15-0 lead, and while the Springboks fought back, the early and late damage proved too much to overcome.
The All Blacks, with a bold game plan that day, exploited the Springboks' weaknesses. Their strategy involved running the ball out of their own 22 rather than simply kicking it away, forcing the Springboks' big men to run back 60 to 70 meters just to get onside. By the time they reset, they were exhausted, allowing the All Blacks to string together phases and score on a tired defense.
For the All Blacks, the strategy is simple. Don't resort to exit kicks every time you're deep in your own territory. Keep running it out, wear down the Springboks, and eventually, those big boys will tire, just like Joseph Dweba did. Now that the niceties are over, it's time for the Springboks to get a taste of their own medicine.